Good morning and welcome back to another video, and today is another day of the 0 to Gold Cap Challenge. Now just stick around and enjoy the video. So today we have been farming up Dreamleaf. Now I alluded to this a couple of days ago, and that Dreamleaf could be quite a good idea in order to start farming up. So I went ahead and finally got hold of my rank 3, which I only had rank 2 in. Basically, all I had to do was go through the Dark Heart Thicket and just kill all the mobs and herd them, and I managed to get the quest item. It really wasn't that hard. Aside from that, I wanted to double check that the herbalism part for the Whip Dreamleaf was around about 10,000 gold for me. That was on average for the Worth It add-on. But as you can tell, with rank 3, I'm able to actually pick up 806 Dreamleaf and 358 Yesraline seeds. This brings my total up to 9,654 for that. So what are we going to be doing with this Dreamleaf, as it's only a piddle amount, really. It's like less than 10,000 gold. Well, what we're going to do is we are going to first show the route on the screen, which is now importable. For Worth It, if you didn't know, through our latest update, you are now able to import your own routes when you're creating your own farms. Now, that being the case, the route is on the screen right now, and I've been following this one to the T, and pretty much it's been working quite well for me. And aside from that, we managed to get quite a decent amount within the hour. As well as this, we also got hold of 6 Blood of Sargeras. Now, Blood of Sargeras is something that you can get when you're actually doing these types of farms, if you've got at least rank 2. And you can then go into the Blood Trader, which is in Dalaran, and then you can then trade them in, which is what we're going to be doing right now. When you're actually in the Legion Dalaran, not the Northrend one, you can go over to this spot over here, and once she actually spawns, and all you have to do is go over to the Blood Trader. Basically, you have to open her up, so let's close that down and have a gander if it's actually going to do its thing. And with those Bloods of Sargeras, we can add those into the actual farm. So you can buy one thing with the Blood of Sargeras, well, one particular item, and it depends on the varying rate. We can then obviously grab Bloods of Sargeras, and then we could buy more Dreamleaf, but we could also pick something that's actually worth a hell of a lot more gold. So what we can do now is just have a quick gander and see what is actually selling at a high rate. And at this moment in time, it's seeming to be the enchanting materials. Now, Stormscale and Stonehide Leather isn't worth all that much, so we're going to buy 10 Arcana. Now, the market value on that is 10 gold per piece. We get 10 of those, that's 100 gold per Blood of Sargeras, so that's an additional 600 gold for that, bringing our total up to, well, it brings our total up to 10,000 gold for the hour. So what we're going to do is we're just going to buy all of these and see how many we can actually get a hold of. Now, that being the case, we've got some additional actual loot. Obviously, the min buyout at the moment is like 45 gold. I doubt it will sell for that much, but it's a nice little uptick nonetheless. And let's actually get on to the point of this video, which is Dreamleaf to Inscription. What I plan on doing is sending this over to our inscriber. So we've got this, and we're just going to send it over to Zathrash. That being the case, let's go over to my inscriber. So running over with our inscriber, we're just going to pick up the mail that he actually has been sent over for the actual particular farm. We're making sure that no other sallow or roseate pigments are in our bags, otherwise it will skew with our results. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go into Inscription. We're going to say have materials, and then we're just going to mass mill our Dreamleaf, which is 40 of those, and we'll see how much we're actually going to get for this. Now, you do actually get something along with milling Dreamleaf, and that is Nightmare Pods. That's why it's my particular favourite one in order to mass mill. And what the Nightmare Pods actually do is give you additional roseate pigments and an occasional sallow pigment, but it's mainly roseates. It's pretty damn good. And if we go into Worth It and we go down to our flipping module, go into milling, and Dreamleaf at this moment in time can turn a stack of 200 into a value of 7,262 gold. So at this moment in time, our value in our bags is at 31,000. So we don't want to mess around with this too much. And now all we're going to do is we're just going to do all of these and just keep mass milling, keep mass milling, keep mass milling. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make sure all of this is out of the bag for once we've actually done our mass milling of our Yesraline seeds. And then we can then just finish it up by doing the little mass mills going forward. And then once that's all done, all we got to do is mill the last bit of Dreamleaf and then open up our Nightmare pods. Now this takes a little bit of time. We're just going to open those all up and get all of the additional things. You can get Yesraline seeds from this, and you can get a couple extra. So what you can do is we can then just mill those Yesraline seeds for additional roseate pigments, and we've actually got what we've got left over. Now what we're going to have to be doing is we're just going to send over those last little bits that are going to skew with all of our different types of stuff. So we could just send it over to a placeholder like my banker Giblet, or we could send it over to DalaGG. We'll just send those over to him and then hopefully delete that inking set. And then nothing else is worth anything in our bags. And we can now see what the 10,000 gold or the 9,654 gold was what we got for the hour. And now we can now see the bag value of 34,924. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to edit this in order to see how much this is actually worth now. So we'll go into our editor. So this is more of a guide on how to use Worth It for the editing. And we're just going to say one dream leaf is left. So that's good. And then one Yesraline seed is left as well. And we're just going to add something into the actual farm. So sallow pigments, we're just going to pick it up and we're just going to place it in there and then deselect it, and the same with the roseate pigments. And we're just going to say how much we've actually got of the sallow. So sallow is 92, press OK, and then for the roseates we have 450. So we've got 450 of those. So that's pretty damn good. We've got quite a lot right there, and all we have to do now is we just have to save it and then close it and then reopen for the actual farm. And as you can see, the farm for the Dreamleaf per hour has now gone up because now we're selling the different types of sallow pigments and roseates instead of just the Dreamleaf. Now, for obvious reasons, the Dreamleaf has a sell rate average of 0.29, whereas the actual farm overall for converting it into the Inscription is 0.14. So it's going to sell a little bit less than that, but it's still at a pretty alright sell rate. So instead of super fast sell rate, it's going to be moderately fast, so to speak, as long as I keep up with my posting and that. Now what I can do is I can just go into TSM and we can go and expand that a little bit further by actually closing down the Legion Inscription or Kultiran and going over to our glyphs, and we can then start crafting things like the glyph of wings, which is at a lower sell rate, but it produces us with a lot more profit. So this is a cheaper way in order to actually farm up the materials for your glyph making, for Legion glyphs, and or you could just sell them on the auction house, which is what I'm going to be doing, because now we've just turned a not even 10,000 gold per hour farm into a 34,000 gold per hour farm. So yeah, it's pretty damn good. I've actually done this type of thing before, so I know it's actually going to sell. So really confident on it, on the way things will go forward. So that being the case, let's just get into the gold for the day. Now, I must admit, I do enjoy doing farms and then converting them into stuff. I think you can tell with my farms that you can tell that I actually like doing this type of thing, like the Celithus farm. How many Arcanite bars can I get in the hour, or arcane crystals into Arcanite bars? But today was the Dreamleaf to Inscription. It works. That method actually works by actually converting it. So you could farm a load of Osmanite ore and just prospect it instead of selling that on the auction house, then cut those gems, sell that on the auction house for a profit. The recorder is just another tool we can use in order to see what is the conversion rate for our hours worth of farming of our own speeds. So that being the case, let's just jump into the gold for the day. So the gold for the day is probably not going to be an awful lot because I have been working like a crazy man, and pretty much I haven't had a chance to do any aggro posting the last couple of days, hence why yesterday's video was a bit different. It was a top 5, and we are currently sat at 98,655. Not bad for just logging on once and just posting all of our stuff. Let's just take all of our Sallow and Dreamleaf out of there and put it in our bags, because we're going to be selling that in a second. And the things of note that we are actually sold is a Glyph of Blazing Saviour. We actually sold some Ring Enchants of Critical Strike, some Arcanite Bars. We sold the 12 that we actually got for 5,221. We also sold a Glyph of the Crimson Shell with 1,152. The Glyph of Spectral Raptors, 2 of those for 2,435. We sold the Enchant Ring Accord of Critical Strike, 3 of those for 1,413. And some Grilled Gnashers, 37 of those for 1,999. Some Volatile Water left over in our bank, 80 of those for 1,285. And going down is the War Scrolls of Fortitude, 120 of those for 22,000. And it's starting to get into like our Flasks of Vast Horizon and all that stuff. So the Flask of Currents and all that jazz going forward. The rest of it is pretty much all of that, besides our Seabreeze Saddle Blanket. So that being the case, that's 98,000, a little bit less than what I was hoping for, but we're just going to let it roll now, because we're totally just going to jump into farming, because we need to kind of kick our ass into gear and start earning some major gold instead of just doing the lazy setup. So we're going to have to double down on what is working quite well for us, which is probably most likely going to be farming. Well, that can either or be farming up high-end transmog items and hoping we get the drop, or we can also farm up materials, which I intend to do a hell of a lot of. I worked out the math, and basically it is 475 hours worth of a 20,000 gold per hour farm will net us our 10 million. Or what we've got left for our 10 million. Obviously, I'm not going to do that many hours. That would just be ridiculous amount of farming. But you get the point. That is a lot of hours worth of farming. So we're going to have to double down on other things, such as transmog and or 2x4 farms and all that jazz. Aside from that, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say for the day. Have an awesome rest of the day, and I shall see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow.